Do you want to check that one again one more time, just to make sure?
We're going there.
Okay.
It's already good. It's red. That one's easy to check. Come on, Jess.
I was teasing you.
Sure.
I was.
We're here on Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Drinko.
Jess forgot her Cinco de Mayo flair.
But I did remember my Duelbits gear.
Hey, brought to you by Duelbits. We were supposed to say that last
You're
time.
welcome.
But thanks for keeping the roof on our heads.
Yep.
Someone's got to do it.
One of us has got to do it. Exactly.
Hey, I did it last week.
You do. It's a team effort.
It is. I wear the flare, and then Jess wears the sponsor.
Yes.
I wanted to rhyme, but what are you going to do?
It's okay. It's early.
Butcher is also dressed for the occasion.
I know. I wish we could show his magnificent garment right now.
Come here.
Butcher.
Come here.
Butcher, up.
Butcher,
Come here. Jump.
Oh, wait,
Jump to your mother. Don't take down the set.
Come to mama. Oh, my little bandito. Oh, yes.
Look at that little frijole.
Yeah.
So guapo.
Boy, guapo. Okay, buddy. Put all that on for 10 seconds.
It was worth it.
Get comfy. We're going to be here a while. So, how'd you like the fights last night?
They were pretty good. I think we had a really nice viewing party, so that made them even more entertaining.
Oh, yeah. It's always fun to be watching highlights, and then your friend is on there, and you're like, ooh. It happens to me all the time.
Somebody change the subject.
Yeah.
Look, what's that over there?
Yeah. Oh, what's the dog doing? The dog's doing something fun. Yeah.
I need another beer. Can you grab me one, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't you have to go to the bathroom right now? Yeah. We watched at our buddy Wilson Hayes' house, and it was Pantoja versus Usyk, which ended up being more competitive than I had imagined. I know everyone was hyping like Usyk, like, oh, no one knows who he is, but he's legit. But when I look at who someone's fought and how they made the road to the title shot, I always have that doubt in my head. Like, come on, this guy hasn't fought anyone. He really didn't earn the title shot in the more traditional way, but he is not going to have the same experience, the same caliber of like opponents that have built up this just tool set to make him unstoppable in the way that Pantoja has. And he proved me wrong. Yeah, I was like, fuck you. I honestly feel like if it was in a different arena, he could have taken the belt home.
Definitely. I mean, the Brazilians go hard for the Brazilians. And I do agree with you. I think there was, a couple other fights that kind of holds water with as well on the card. But I think that Usyk did a really great job. I felt really bad that they didn't promote the fight. Like, it's the main event in Rio, and I didn't hear much about it. It would have been really nice to kind of build him up a little bit more, or build the fight up a little bit more. Yeah. But the fight definitely delivered.
It did. It was a really high caliber, really competitive, high level fight. And man, there were so many moments where going into the fifth, I wasn't sure who was up 3. Like, I thought Usyk might have been up 3, but then I was like, ooh, biased judges, maybe Pantoja's up 3. And it turned out Pantoja was up 3 on one of the scorecards going into the fifth. But he had so many moments, Steve Usyk did, and I don't know. I think he's a little too fast. Like, we're watching him fight, and every time he lands something, we're like, wait, what was that? Like,
like they weren't scoring on the on the strike counter.
I think they were blinking as Usyk was landing, because he would land like these sneaky little check hooks, these sneaky like knees as Pantoja was coming forward, and because Pantoja is so good at just eating stuff and just brushing it off his shoulders, I feel like they weren't registering as much, and they looked like they were landing hard. They looked like they were hurting, but Pantoja just has an excellent poker face. Like, you didn't really see how tired he was until he got to his corner.
For sure. I think what I was really impressed with, like one technique takeaway that I saw with Usyk was his knees. Like they were so fast from a sprawl position, defending a takedown, just coming up the middle.
Yeah.
And then whenever Pantoja would cover up, he would sneak one in every once in a while. And I really liked that.
Yeah, they were sneaky. They were sneaky, and they would like come straight up the middle. Like they definitely gave him problems. And then the thing that annoyed me, because I was like, I don't know, but then the thing that annoyed me in the very end, he did the same thing he did to Brandon Moreno. Pantoja did. He got on that back and he hid from the fight. He was like, I'm gonna drain the clock out. I'm just going to sit on his back. I'm going to hold this position as hard as possible. And you could tell that Usyk was just pissed that he allowed that to happen, because right at the, as they raised Pantoja's hand, he was just like, fuck. You know, it was just, this is so close to that victory. And I'm not going to knock him. I'd do the same thing.
It's like, it's called playing the game.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I'm just annoyed about it. I'm just annoyed that it's a thing that works, that I would love to get better at, but isn't necessarily the most entertaining way to end a fight. But it goes to show how damaging Usyk's blows were, how 50-50 it was on the feet. He didn't know if he was going to get dropped or not if he didn't grab onto his back and hang out there. Like those elbows too, that was another little technique takeaway. Is that what you said earlier?
Yes.
Jess's technique takeaways. Angela's technique takeaways was that elbow that he started landing. He would, because Pantoja was so good at just running through all of his strikes, he started throwing elbows. And the problem with running through an elbow is that it's probably going to cut you. If you try to just act like it didn't happen, the more pressure you put on someone as they're throwing that elbow, the better chance it has to slice and dice. And man, Usyk landed some really nasty ones in like the second, third. So, yeah, it was an awesome fight. I'm sad that it didn't get the promotion it got. It kind of reminded me of the local shows when like a big card comes to a local area, like a big card comes to San Diego or something, and everyone's there for the hometown guy who isn't big enough to be the champ. So everyone leaves after the co-main, you know what I mean? And then they bring the people in the bleachers down. So, it looks like people are still there for the main event. That's what it looked like in the crowd. It looked like everyone was there for Jose Aldo. And then as soon as Pantoja started, then they were like, all right, let's go. Pack up our stuff. And Pantoja even said after his fight,
don't leave.
Hey, as we packed up our stuff to leave Wilson's
Come back.
house.
I was so tired.
We were Jess, you were so quick that I was like, I felt it for him. I was like, I should stay and listen to this speech.
No.
And Jess went, all right, I'll see you tomorrow.
I was falling asleep in my seat. The couch was so comfy.
Oh, man.
It was past my bedtime.
It was a comfy couch. You had Butcher's butt on you.
I had Butcher keeping me warm.
Yeah.
It felt like it was time to go to bed.
It's like I'm either falling asleep here or on the road home. So let's avoid those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad because it definitely felt like that.
And I mean, it's later in Rio. Everybody, wants to.
Oh, is it? What time would it be there? Is it like East Coast?
Like 4 hours ahead or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like East Coast +1. So, yeah, that was mad late.
Yeah.
It's probably like 3 a.m.
Yeah, not as bad as starting at 3 a.m. like the UK card coming up.
Oh, no. Are they still doing that?
I mean, I think so. I think that they have that time slot, and that's where it's going to be.
Dang. So, they're starting at 3 a.m. their time.
Dang. So we can watch at a comfortable time.
So Jess can listen to the champ's speech after he wins and not just fuck off like everyone else in the arena. Oh man.
Yeah. That's a rough one.
Yeah, I saw Tom Aspinall was complaining about that.
I would too.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. I feel like they have the numbers out there, but they must not, because it's always a numbers game, right?
Yeah.
Like they have the numbers and when they do the cards in like what are the ones, the Abu Dhabi cards, they usually do them like in the morning or something like that. So I guess they have the numbers for those cards. They didn't always, like back in 2020. We like I got to be on the set for one of them, and we had to go to the arena at I think it was like 11 p.m. and then we got back to the hotel at like 7 a.m. So it was a really rough way to work. I felt like one of those guys that get up and, I don't know, work on the subway system or something.
You're working the night shift.
Yeah, I felt so blue collar. but now we're actually watching in the morning. So I don't know. I guess they don't have the numbers yet to make it worthwhile to their pockets. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, all of the bigger broadcast stations are in the U.S. and I think that's just where the money is, the numbers are, the sponsors are.
Yeah.
So that's where they're gonna stay.
And I mean, it's the whole like east side of or west side of the world too. Like you think about the South American countries too, Mexico, like all those guys are benefiting from that time slot. So yeah, maybe that has something to do with it.
For sure.
That's why we need UFC Africa. UFC Africa.
Angela.
Then it would be so much easier to do a time slot that's closer to the UK time slot, because isn't Africa kind of close to, like, longitude wise, depending on where you're at? It's like maybe 4 or 5 hours difference.
I am really bad with geography. It doesn't quite make sense to me, but I understand. I feel like
time zones now. Like what is
zones.
South Africa? Because that's what they're looking at. They're looking at South Africa. Yes, I know Africa is not a country, but let's see. Anyway, talk about why don't you talk about the Aldo fight while we're doing things?
Oh man. You know, when somebody retires, I'm really excited for them.
I'm right. I'm right. Angela is right. I'm so well read and learned. Cape Town in South Africa is the same time slot as Paris, which is 1 hour difference from London.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not stupid. Anyway, yeah. Jose Aldo fight.
Jose Aldo.
Jose, I'm sorry. When I got into MMA, he was Jose, and he didn't correct anyone. It was Jose for like a few years, and then he finally corrected people.
It's always been Jose.
No.
Well, it's been
the
that way for many,
broadcasters
many years.
have been saying Jose for like, I think in the WEC days, they would say Jose, WEC.
In the WEC days?
WEC.
We call it WEC.
I always call it WEC. I got into MMA pretty late. Like, I was like, what is that? WEC? Ufk. Inf. What are those things? Why do they sound weird when I say them? Yeah.
Well, they've been calling him Jose, the King of Rio, for a while.
They've been calling it WC.
Yes. Yes.
But I think the announcers haven't been correcting themselves for a long time. So I would hear Jose a lot.
Okay. Sure.
Continue. Talk about the fight, bitch.
When somebody retires on their own terms, I'm really excited about it. And oftentimes I'm wondering, like, if they see something, feel something, know something, and they're getting out on their terms. It's a really nice thing. But he didn't necessarily retire. He went into boxing. He boxed our friend Jeremy, and he was still doing well. And so when he was going to come back into the UFC for real, I understood why he would want to do that, but I just didn't know exactly what it would look like, and it made me a little nervous because he's one of my favorite fighters. He's one of, best in the world ever.
Yeah.
And so it makes me a little bit nervous because I don't want that legacy to be tarnished. I don't want to see somebody, go into battle when they're not supposed to or they shouldn't anymore. And man, he still got it.
He still got it.
He still got it.
I did not expect him to not be retired after this fight, though, win or lose, because I was thinking, okay, this is a really tough matchup, but at least it's a guy who understands his game. Like, at least it's a guy who is basically Jose Aldo, new gen, Gen Z Jose Aldo. And he's going to understand, like, the setups, how he works. He knows how to check a kick, all that good stuff. But, man, he really delivered. His speed was still there. You could tell that his power, his punching power, he was talking about his boxing beforehand. And it really seemed like the thing that was throwing Martinez off more than anything was the power in his 1-2s, just the speed of the boxing combinations that were coming out at him. It was hard for him to get his rhythm going. And so once he got to the later rounds, he was just forcing it. His corner was pushing him. They're like, come on, you gotta go. We know it's hard. It's easier said than done, but you gotta go. And he tried and he tried. And finally he just kind of forced it and ran right into that nasty combo that wobbled him. And that was the moment that really showed you, man, Jose Aldo still got it. Because up until that point in the third, I'm like, he's getting a little slower. He's getting a little more tired. He's looking slightly more vulnerable than he did in the first couple of rounds. Maybe Martinez has a chance to like push the pace, and that's what got him in trouble. It was a really great performance by Aldo, and I don't know. I guess after that performance, even if I was thinking about retiring, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck that.
You know what? Never mind.
Hey, guys, relax. I never actually said that.
And even if I did, I can change my mind.
Exactly. I just wanted to know how I felt.
I'm allowed. It was a test subject. It passed the test. We're going to do it again.
We're good to go.
Yeah, I wonder what the reaction of of Reed and Hunter and Dana was. They're like, oh, Jesus.
I was thinking that too. He's like, I have to sit down with Hunter, Reed, and Dana. And I was like, ooh. I bet they didn't know about that.
They didn't.
They didn't know about that meeting.
They know now. I bet he's already calling them.
Schedule it in.
He's already on his way.
Yeah. Pencil me in on your flight home.
And I would like a raise.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, if anything, you saw the way that everyone left after Jose Aldo fought. So that kind of shows him right there. He's the draw. If you're going back to Rio, that's the draw. If you want to do that again, even if it's next year or something, that's the guy to do it with. So, yeah, good for him. Get that bag. Get that bag, Jose.
I have no idea what he was saying to Martinez after the fight, but I got teary-eyed watching it.
I know.
It's just, I think Jose Aldo's a true champion in like every sense of the word. You know, I think he's a great representation of the sport and, you know, what it is to be an athlete and a champion and a mixed martial artist. And I loved seeing those moments. I would love to see what it was.
I know. I really want to know because he had a translator.
I was like, does he speak English all of a sudden? I never knew.
What language is he speaking to him in? Maybe he's speaking Spanish. Portuguese and Spanish is very close.
Very close.
It would be, not that far off. But I'm sure he was like just giving him some sage advice. Just
for sure.
He is the guru of doing what Martinez does well. You know, he is the guy who invented that style. So he's just probably giving him props for what he's done and telling him to keep going. But man, it was funny. We were watching it with Wilson. And Wilson's like, we're watching that little moment on TV, and Wilson's like, yeah, he's just going, hey, you can't win here. I'm the king of Rio. You can't win in Rio, man. It's okay. I'm the king of Rio. It's all right. You go somewhere else, you'll win there.
I wonder how many like cars were flipped over in the streets of Rio. I feel like people went hard last night.
Yeah, they must have during the fight. Yeah,
they were getting it ready.
Yeah, they got the streets warmed up. But yeah, Martinez, he's been super impressive. Like in his 6-fight win streak that he had before this fight, he TKO leg kicked 2 people.
Yeah,
like that's insane. and then he gets to fight. He wins the ticket to fight Jose Aldo.
He probably had Jose on his wall. Poster on his wall growing up.
Oh my God. Yeah, wait, how old is he?
Everyone's young these days.
I know.
And that damn broadcast team just loves pointing out the age discrepancies.
Okay, well, he's 30. He looks young as shit, but he's 30 at least. So, but he would still probably have Jose Aldo.
He had a WEC poster.
He had a whack poster. He called it WEC though, I'm sure. Because that was back when it was only on the Spanish channels. Do you remember that?
I don't remember what channel. I've gone to a bunch of them.
Yeah, when we started watching it in New York, it would only be on the Spanish broadcast channels.
Maybe that was just in the East Coast.
Yeah, maybe. But like that was the only way you could watch.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're like, adios míos, WEC is muy interesante.
You're still keeping up your Duolingo, I see.
Well, you never know when you're going to go back to Mexico. They love putting me on Mexico City cards, so we'll see.
And you're prepared.
I am.
She stays ready, guys.
I'm going to be wearing this for the UFC Noche.
Oh, did you hear that they, what did they announced 306 O'Malley versus Merab in the Sphere?
No way.
Isn't that supposed to be Noche? Isn't that supposed to be that?
I don't know. It's International Fight Week. I thought. Wait, no. Noche is Mexican Independence Day, which I'm not sure which day that falls on. But I think it's late in the year, like September or something. So you could be right. Is that actually happening? I know Merab was pushing for it, but I didn't know if it was actually going to happen or not.
Yeah, they just announced it this morning.
Oh, no way. That's so cool.
Yes.
I wonder
September 14th. Oh, my brother's birthday.
I think that is UFC Noche. That has to be. I love Merab's all the stuff that he's been doing to promote the fight, like
to bag on O'Malley.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Like he was he's basically saying that he's a Mexican. He's representing Mexico. UFC Noche. They had the guys digging. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh my goodness!
Show me this one.
Oh, it's so ridiculous. Yeah, Merab is just going off on social media, but he had this silly video where he was like, he had a bunch of guys, like a bunch of Mexican guys, and he's speaking Spanish to them, and they're digging holes. And he's like, we're going to have to dig a bigger hole. It's going to be O'Malley. He's tall. And they're like, oh, okay. And he says something alto, blah, blah, blah. Like, Merab is speaking Spanish in the video. Is great. It's so great. He's like my favorite fighter, more so with every stupid video he makes.
I love it.
Yeah, but that's awesome. I didn't know that was actually announced. So that's going to be fun. Oh, maybe we should go.
We text Brian right now. We're putting in a request.
Get me on the card or let me hang out there.
Both.
Because it's so cool looking.
Hilarious.
I know, he's insane. It's so cool looking the way the Sphere is. I wonder how they're going to, like, they can get really creative with the way that they do, like, all the production and the lights and stuff inside of the Sphere.
Oh,
I want you to turn it up so you can hear him speaking Spanish. Oh, you got past the Spanish part. But I was really impressed with Merab's Spanish. I was like, you better, like, lean into the joke.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Martinez will be fine. He might be on that card. You know, he was repping Mexico pretty hard, walking out to that. And he's just such a world beater. Like, I feel like Aldo is one of the few people who would have his number, because it's like when you're playing Street Fighter and, you know, you both pick the same character, but one person's a little better at playing it than you are. So I feel like everyone else, he tools with that style.
I think so. I mean, I don't think that it's any... it's going to set him back or anything like that.
No.
I think it'll be a good learning experience. I'm sure it's frustrating. I'm sure it hurts right now, but I don't think that it's one of those losses that's detrimental to his career and his trajectory.
Yeah.
Trajectory.
You had it. Yeah, you had it. You don't need me.
Thanks, girl.
Oh man. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. But yeah, you mentioned the age gap thing. What little notes, cuz I was watching most of it while I was getting my hair done, so it was on mute. But I didn't hear all the digs to age that were happening
Just
with the commentary.
so many.
Who was it specifically?
Well, specifically to, I mean, to any and everybody who is in their late 30s. There was Pichelle,
Oh yeah.
who's
42, I think.
I think he's 41 or 42. And they were just saying like, oh, it looks like a 40-year-old fighting a 22-year-old. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Michelle is tough as fuck.
Yeah.
Like he's a vet. He can hang in there. It just wasn't his night.
Yeah, he has a great record too. It's not like he's been going in there getting fucked up. Like he doesn't fight that often, and I think that's more detrimental to his style than his age.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point. And then they were talking about Carolina. She fought the youngest girl on the card, who's 22.
Oh.
And Carolina's 38. And they referenced the speed of Carolina quite a few times, but Carolina's never been a fast fighter.
No.
You know, it's not like she's lost a step and, you know, she's declining. I think she's gotten better in her last several fights.
Yeah.
Ever since I submitted her.
She had to step that grappling up.
Anyways, but I think that she's shown so much improvement. So I don't think it's her age. I think that they maybe could focus maybe that she is the slower fighter, but quit trying to make it an age thing.
Well, how many fights has Carolina won since you submitted her? You know, like they
4 or
weren't talking
5.
about her age then. And it's like, I do hate when age becomes a
Talk about
talking
something
point
else.
because
Do your research.
because we are of the more mature group of fighters in the UFC. But Carolina has been killing it against many young guns. Silviana Gomez. Oh wait, no, she's a little older. But Vanessa Diopoulos, she's a little younger. Same with Diana Belbita, and this girl, she's just tough. You know, she's tough, little Brazilian chick. I remember her fighting Yasmin, and it was
In
like
San
a lot
Diego.
of back and forth.
Yeah.
It was a crazy fight. You know, I think did they get fight of the night? I
They
think
did.
yeah, they got fight of the night for that. It was a crazy back and forth fight. So yeah, you're gonna put somebody up against somebody like that up against Carolina. She might not look as fresh as she did when she was fighting. You know,
Yeah,
these
they're-
girls who are a little not as good.
Yeah, there's fighting styles, there's body types, there's, you know, some people are more coordinated than explosive. Some people are lower center of gravity and some people are a little bit longer and lengthy, and it just looks different when you put them together.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating. I'm like, do your research, focus on something else. There are way more talking points. Talk about her adorable dogs, for fuck's sake. Like, talking about her age.
Only you know about her dogs.
They're adorable.
You
They're so
you
fucking
researched the hell out of her dogs. But this is kind of I was surprised that Carolina was ranked 13 in going into this fight, because the girls that she has beaten since she got submitted by Jessica Penne weren't ranked. You know, they weren't ranked. She got a streak going, which is hard to do. But at the same time, look at the level of competition that you're fighting. And you know, I won't be surprised if this girl, Yasmin, is that how you say it?
I'm not
Yasmin?
sure.
You just ignore the first letter.
Yeah.
Asmin. I'm not sure if she's going to be ranked, but she probably will be after that win. But it's just, I don't know. Their rankings just, they always piss me off.
They do. Especially like the top 15
Yeah.
are very frustrating.
Yeah,
sometimes.
well, Lupe Godinez, the person that we both beat, is ranked above me now. And I don't know how that happened.
It's weird.
Some good marketing. And she's a great chick. Like, she seems like really sweet or whatever. And she's a gamer. But why would that happen? You know, it just
shouldn't.
is. I think it's a popularity contest more than anything. And a lot of times they look at age. A lot of times they look at things like, what is your longevity in the UFC? And certain people get ahead because of that, and certain people don't. Like this old cunt right here. But it is what it is. We just got to keep going out there, throwing down our walkers, stepping in that cage and fighting like young bucks. I'm all about that Yoda style. Yoda style. Like, you know, you get out of bed and you're like, ooh, yep.
Yeah, but once you warm up.
Yep, I can feel it. But yeah, once you warm up, you're doing somersaults and throwing your
saber.
Yeah, lightsaber all over the place. May the 4th was yesterday too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adorable throwback.
That was great. A nice one.
It's still good. It's yeah, when I wake up in the morning it hurts. It takes a little bit longer to warm up and, you know, get warm.
Lower back.
And then once I cool down, it hurts.
It's a come down. But it's cool though. It's like those TV shows where people have the boost up. They could boost up and they feel like a superhero, and then they come off of it and they're like, oh, I need to get that boost up again. Like that's what it feels like warming up and fighting for us. It's like when you're young, you just feel like you could jump on the mats and go. You feel like you're made of rubber the entire time. But we just need to warm our rubber up and then we're good.
Yeah, there's still plenty of elasticity in there.
Yeah. Just don't pull that rubber band too fast.
Yeah,
too
whoa,
soon.
whoa. Chill the fuck out. Chill out.
There's a few other crazy fights on that card. What did you think about Anthony Smith's fight? I walked into Wilson's house right as that was happening, and I was like, "What?"
So, I picked him to win.
Oh, okay.
I did.
Interesting.
Not by submission, but just because he's a vet. Mm-hmm. You know, he's a former champion, and Petrino is super tough. He had a big upset in his last fight, and I just didn't know exactly if it was no, he's like 11 now. He's 11-1 or something like that, and I forget who his last upset was, but it was a big one, and he came on the scene super hot. But I just didn't know if he was well-rounded enough to like withstand that veteran status.
Yeah, because I didn't expect him to make a mistake that soon. I think with Anthony Smith, whenever he gets one over on the Young Bucks, it's when they get comfortable beating him up.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah, he just lulls him into a false sense, like, you're killing me. Oh, stop it. Oh, hello.
It's like a big dog with a puppy. It's like their baby, and they're teaching him how to be tough.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's like.
Oh, he got me.
That's such a great analogy. Now I like him even more. He's just a big dog, big playful dog. Yeah, that was so. I think the odds were pretty crazy with that one too. He was an underdog in that fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a huge underdog. And then if anyone bet that he got a submission in the first round, I think it was plus 800. Oh, wait, no. Plus 1,200.
Wow.
Someone cashed out. But it was Anthony Smith. He like slid it over to James Krause, like, hey, put
oh, man.
Just put like, a few grand on that. Dude, that must have felt good, though. Because I feel like... Well, obviously, with the betting odds, a lot of people were counting him out of that fight. And he definitely looked like, when they say, oh, this is the older fighter, he definitely looked like the fighter with more cage mouse in there. Just like, I always look at the footwork, and I look at my own footwork too. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, you need to work on your footwork.
You have not been jump roping, have you?
No. You need to hit your
work.
Sprints. You need to get on them toes, girl.
You're trying to save them knees.
Yeah. Like, we're not bending over this fight. No level changes. We're not going to move too much. We're just going to wait and hit. That's all we're doing. Counter punches. But yeah, I'm watching him, and this guy just looks so aggressive and so bouncy and light on his feet. And Anthony Smith is just kind of like, all right, what's going to happen? And I was so surprised that he shot him for that takedown. Like, he's going to be kicking himself forever for that.
And he pressed the takedown, even though Anthony Smith had already secured an arm, locked it around his throat, and he continued to go down.
Yeah. So what do you do in that situation if you get someone up? Because you kind of lifted him, and then Anthony wrapped his legs around him and got that, like, neck really secured. What is your reaction usually as the grappling expert?
For me, if that starts happening, I'd probably press him against the cage and start trying to fight the hands. Yeah, but when he lifted him up, he didn't flare the legs, so it gave Anthony Smith an opportunity to get his legs around him and secure the guillotine. If you're doing that kind of big takedown and somebody's trying to secure your neck, you've got to pass the legs, and you've got to land in side control and then start, fighting the hands, or you can do the what is it? The Von Crew or Von Prue, Von Flu. Yeah, that thing.
Von Prue.
Yes. He did it too.
Hey, what's up, Vince?
Yeah, you've got to fight the hands. So if that's happening initially, you've got to just fight the hands.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, even when it's kind of too late and they have their legs wrapped around you and you're going down, as you're going down, you kind of got to secure a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
You got to tripod up. You got to fight the hand. You got to start, putting pressure. Cause I don't think he had an arm in, but you can still.
No, it was arm in.
Was it arm in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walked right into that trap. I'm like, homie.
No,
you can't get subbed like that in Brazil.
Like
you're the Brazilian.
Car crash. No.
You are going to get beat up in the locker room by your coaches. Why would you do that?
No, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of Brazilians that I see that do not have the ground that you would think that they do.
Yeah, it's almost like it's assumed. It's like how everyone assumes black people can dance and sing.
Can't she though?
So bad. So bad.
No, I know.
So bad.
I actually do know that.
But a lot of people have asked me, like, oh, yeah, you sing, right? I'm like, who the fuck do you think I am? Have you not gone to karaoke with me? Have you not seen my post? It's so funny. I do a good impersonation of being able to dance, but I can't dance. I can find the beat. But if the move is too complicated, the beat goes away real fast. I'm just like, oh shit, what is happening?
I don't know. I think we've been pretty impressive with some TikToks.
Yeah, it just takes practice. It's not a natural thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't just run through my blood like everyone assumes. But that's what you think about when I think of Brazilian fighters. I'm like, oh yeah, they're definitely a black belt. It came out of the womb throwing up arm bars, like they know what it's all about. And you're right. A lot of times you get surprised by that. Watch out, Luana. Coming for your belt. Ooh. I'm 2 weeks out. I'm amped.
Yeah.
I'm amped. I'm ready to go. Yeah, that was the one fight I missed was the craziest fight on the card.
Which one?
The Michel Pereira one. Dude, I saw pictures. I've seen highlights, but I didn't see the full fight. But I feel like that's all it was.
It was like 10 seconds. The highlight was the fight.
Oh
my God, that was insane. That was absolutely insane, and I wanted to talk about that. I'm sad that you didn't get to see that.
Well, what happened? Just tell me what happened.
It all happened.
All
the things, anything you can do in a video game happened in that fight.
Ooh, tell me more.
He came in with a really hard punch, like a little blitz forward, took him down. Instead of playing with the legs, he twist back flipped over, landed in like north south, and then oh my God, I forgot what happened. It was so fast.
Jumped up and got the guillotine, right?
Yeah, he jumped up and got the guillotine. It was insane.
That's so cool.
It was insane, and there was like a lot. Well, I mean, not a lot, but they were looking to see if it was a controversial, like an illegal strike, because when he backflipped.
Oh, did he land on him?
His knee shin kind of hit like in this area.
Oh.
And they ended up, giving Michelle the